In a small village near the Indus River, in a region in the northernmost part of India called Ladakh, an old man is dying. The women of the family have gathered in the house, burning candles and saying prayers. As the old man passes, Bodhivajra, a Buddhist yogi and a resident of the village, is called upon by the family to come assist their loved one in his voyage in the afterlife. The old yogi carries in his hand a sacred book known as the Bardo Thodol, or the Tibetan Book of the Dead. This ancient Buddhist text, dating back to the 8th century, gives us an incredible insight into how the ancients understood the nature of consciousness. The Bardo Thodol is a guide for the dead. Within its pages lies the roadmap to navigating the Bardo, a transitional state in which consciousness goes after death, and where it will either escape the cycle of death and rebirth, or reincarnate. It is believed that while in the Bardo, consciousness is still attached to the physical world, and that the deceased can hear the prayers and guidance of the yogi. Every day for the following 49 days, Bodhivajra will read the sacred text to the dead man, at first in the presence of the body, and will continue after its cremation. In the first moments after death, the spirit is projected into the Chikhai Bardo, the first stage of the Bardo. Here, the elements that make up human existence, earth, water, fire, air, and consciousness, are dissolved. Each element dissolves into the next, and once this process is achieved, the deceased person's consciousness is left facing a bright, pure white light. This is where the cleansing and reset process of consciousness begins. The yogi reads,
O son of noble family, that which is called death has now arrived. Now, for the benefit of all beings, recognize the luminosity which dawns before you.
The light in the Chikhai Bardo is considered the ultimate opportunity for enlightenment, as it represents consciousness in its purest form. To escape the karmic cycle, consciousness needs to recognize itself as being one with the light, not separate. This process is very brief, the Chikhai Bardo being the shortest stage of the Bardo. It lasts only for a few moments after death. Liberation in this stage of the Bardo is very rare, in spite of the yogi's guidance. In many cases, consciousness still has attachments to the physical realm and its past lives. If the deceased does not pass the test in the Chikhai Bardo, they transition into the Chonyid Bardo, the second stage of the voyage through the afterlife. This stage is characterized by frightening visions. It begins with the appearance of peaceful deities, which symbolize the degree of enlightenment of the deceased man's consciousness. But shortly after, give place to terrifying, wrathful entities, representing the negative aspects of reality to which the consciousness is still attached.
O noble one, I am calling you by your name. Do not be distracted. Remember that these deities are a mirror of your mind. They should not be feared. Let go of all fear, attachment, and aversion. Keep your mind clear and calm. Trust in the natural liberation of the mind.
If liberation is not achieved in the Chonyid Bardo, the consciousness moves on to the final stage, the Sidpa Bardo. This stage involves the search for a new rebirth. Once more, consciousness encounters various visions, including of its future life and parents. These visions are influenced by the individual's karma. The yogi's guidance echoes in the last moments of the Bardo.
O noble one, listen carefully with your mind undistracted. You are now experiencing the Bardo of becoming. Look around you. Whatever you see, pleasant or painful, beautiful or terrifying, are projections of your own mind. Nothing exists outside your perception. Seek a rebirth that will give you another opportunity to find enlightenment.
As consciousness completes its journey through the Bardo, it enters the womb at the moment of conception, and shortly thereafter begins a new cycle of existence. And so, reincarnation takes place. Before I continue the story, I just want to take a quick moment to thank you for being here. Consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. Leave a like to support my work and help my small channel grow. Together, let's keep wonder alive. Although the Bardo Thodol dates back more than 1300 years, it has captivated many great minds in our time. Carl Jung, the famous psychoanalyst, had a great interest in the ancient text. He was fascinated by the book's description of the voyage through the Bardo, seeing parallels between these concepts and his own ideas about consciousness. Jung believed that the text provided valuable insights into the workings of the unconscious mind. But despite his deep exploration of the psyche and the abstract realms of consciousness, Carl Jung remained grounded in the physical reality and saw consciousness as purely a mechanism of the brain. But could reincarnation actually be real? Can science prove that consciousness doesn't disappear upon death, that some part of it transcends and carries on after the death of the body? In 1931, Max Planck, the Nobel laureate and pioneer of quantum theory, posited that consciousness forms the primary basis from which matter emerges. He's famously quoted as saying, "I regard consciousness as fundamental. I regard matter as derivative from consciousness." So in Planck's view, consciousness is responsible for creating reality. In spite of the abstract nature of this concept, Planck's idea about consciousness aligns with the teachings of the Bardo Thodol. The now famous double-slit experiment has proven that an observer can affect the outcome of quantum events. Similarly, in the Bardo Thodol, the visions the dead man encounters in his voyage through the Bardo are created by his own consciousness, and his very own perception is a determining factor in the outcome of the journey. With our current understanding, it is hard to state with certainty if reincarnation is real. We can only theorize as to what happens after we die. The process of changing minds in science is inherently slow because it is built on the accumulation of evidence. And although some might say there is no evidence for reincarnation, scientists at the University of Virginia have been studying the phenomenon for the last 50 years. The university's Division of Perceptual Studies has looked into more than 2,000 cases of children who claim to have past life memories. Some of these cases are completely baffling and cannot be explained. This video is part of a larger production about the mysteries of consciousness, which I'm currently working on. If you enjoy this subject and would like to see more, make sure to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to be notified about my future uploads. Thank you for stopping by today, and until next time, stay wondrous, my friends.